Hello everybody, thank you so much for joining me today. So today I have some updates on the Osmocote fertilizer. I fertilized my plants with some of my plants with the Osmocote fertilizer about a month ago, and I just wanted to give you guys some updates on those plants. Also, I have a plant with spider mites. I have two plants that I need to clean the plant leaves because I think I mentioned in my last video that I was trying to keep up on keeping my plant leaves clean so I don't get an outbreak of spider mites or thrips. So I do have that one plant that has spider mites, so I do need to take care of that today. And I also have one plant that I need to repot, and I also want to put it on a moss pole. I have a moss pole that I already have constructed. It's the plastic moss pole that you put the moss in, and I want to put that plant on a moss pole, so we are going to also do that. Hopefully I can get through all the things that I need to do today. I did water all my plants yesterday, so that is all done. I just have a few more things that I need to do, and I thought I would do them with you guys. So let's get started by checking out the plants that I put the Osmocote in. I made a list of all the plants that I put the Osmocote fertilizer in. So I'm going to take you guys around my plant room and show you the plants. So let's get started with the first plant and see how it's doing with the Osmocote fertilizer. Okay, so the first plant on the list for the Osmocote is my Standaliana albo, and I think it's doing great with the fertilizer. It looks like it's perked up a lot, and you guys, with this plant I do need to figure it out. I know a lot of you mentioned to put it on a moss pole, which I'm probably going to have to do because it's just putting out these long runners and they have no leaves on them. So I am going to have to chop those and put it on a moss pole, but so far so good on the Osmocote. I think it looks a lot healthier and just more perky. So that one, so far so good. And the next plant on the list is this, my Monstera Peru. And this plant really hasn't been putting out any new leaves for me, so I thought that I would use the Osmocote fertilizer on this plant. And it does now have here where it looks like it's going to start a new leaf, hopefully. This plant is really beautiful and it's pretty healthy, but it's just not putting out new leaves. So hopefully with the Osmocote fertilizer, it will start giving me some new leaves. And then also I fertilized my Baltic Blue with the Osmocote, and it's doing pretty good as well. It does have some new growth coming in here. It's growing a new vine. So far so good on that one. So next up on the list is my Cebu Blue, and this one is also doing very well. It hangs up here close to the grow light, and then it also is near the south facing window. And it is a very long trailing plant, and it is a plant that I need to figure out what to do with it because it's already touching the ground and it just looks like a mess right here. But it does have a lot of new growth on top, so I'm really excited about that. So I think the Osmocote is doing a good job on my Cebu Blue. Okay, you guys, so the next plant is the plant that I repotted with you guys. And let me turn it around here. Okay, so it is my Brantianum that we put on the moss pole. And I don't really see any new growth up top yet, but that is okay. We still have some time to give it because it is such a recent repot. But I did notice down in the bottom there is a new growth. So that's a plus for this plant. But no growth on the top. So I'm still waiting on that. But so far so good on the Brantianum. And then the next plant is the Silver Dragon. This is another one that we did. I repotted on a video with you guys. This one's doing okay. I'm waiting for it to give me a new leaf. And I'm hoping that this little thing here is a new leaf. I'm not sure, but I'm going to keep my eye on it because I'm really hoping that that is a new leaf. So I think that so far the Osmocote has been doing pretty good for this plant. It does look a lot more perky, and the leaves have always looked like this, like kind of wrinkled, but so far so good on the Silver Dragon as well. And the next plant is the Squamiferum. This plant sits back here really close to the south-facing window, and it's doing awesome. It does have a lot of new growth, and it has a lot more coming down in here. So I think it's really liking the Osmocote and also the south-facing window. And I'm going to have to probably figure out what to do with this plant because I think it's going to just explode in this area and it's going to need more room. But for right now, I'm just going to keep it here and I'll figure out what to do with it later. So the next plant is this variegated Syngonium. We also repotted this plant. And it does have one dying leaf here, but it is, I think it was an all white leaf, just like this one. So, I mean, I guess it's expected to die, but it does have a new leaf growing here, and it has another one right there. So I think I want to put this one on a moss pole, but let me show you guys my variegated Syngonium that I've had for years. And this is one that we're going to have to do a repot, a chop and repot. But it has, I mean, it has really pretty leaves, but it has all this dead growth. I've kind of neglected this plant, and even though I've neglected it, it still keeps putting out new leaves for me. But it's just really long, one vine, and it does need a chop and repot. So I will do that on a video with you guys so we can get that taken care of. But that one is also going to go on a pole. So the next plant is the Milk Confetti Syngonium. And I think it's doing pretty good. It does have some browning on this leaf, and it's taking forever to unfurl. But other than that, I think it's okay. And nothing spectacular with this plant. I'm trying to figure it out, this plant out still, but I think it's doing okay. It does have some new growth in there. And I guess so far so good on that one. All right, and the next one is my Micans. And hopefully you guys can see it. But it does, I have noticed since the Osmocote, it does have new growth here on the top. So it wasn't really putting out too much new growth on the top, but now it is, so that's pretty awesome. But this one is also a very long plant and it's just a mess sitting here. I wish I could figure something out with it. I do have a smaller micans that I want to put on a moss pole. So I might have to take some cuttings of this one and put it in the moss pole as well, but I don't know what to do with this one. But it is, I think it really likes the Osmocote. It does have a lot of new growth. And the next one is the Silver Band Maranta. This plant is doing awesome. It has really responded well to the Osmocote. It does have new growth coming in all over. And I have noticed that it has perked up a lot as well. In the morning when the sun is coming in on it, it is it's spread out and it just looks so beautiful. And I think that it's doing pretty good with the Osmocote. And I think it really likes this spot that it's sitting in. The next plant is my Silver Sword, and I do have it on some kind of a moss pole just for support. And I do have it facing the window because I like the leaves to get full sun. But I'm going to turn it around for you guys just so we can take a look at it. So, I mean, I can't say that the Osmocote is what is making this plant look great because it was doing pretty good to begin with. But it is now putting out another new leaf for me. It just put out this new leaf. And it is now putting out another new leaf. So I think it is doing pretty good. I do need to clean these leaves. I'm going to clean them with you guys today. So this is one of the plants that really needs to get the leaves cleaned. Some of the older leaves, it does have some yellowing, but that was there before. But I mean, I think so far so good with the Osmocote. Like I said, I can't say that it is due to the Osmocote, but this plant's doing awesome. So there's the Silver Sword. All right, and I don't know what to say about this Thai constellation. I had high hopes for it and I was so excited to get it. This plant I wanted for such a long time, and I'm being very patient with it, but it has not done anything. So I do have it sitting under the grow light. I did have it sitting closer to the south facing window near the humidifier, and it didn't seem to be doing anything. So I moved it over this way and it's still not really doing anything. I've had this plant since May and it has not given me one new leaf. So if you guys have any tips or tricks on this plant, please leave them in the comments, because I do want this plant to give me new leaves and just be beautiful, and it's not really doing anything. It does have a possibility right there, but so far nothing. So I can't say the Osmocote has done anything for this plant. But like I said, if you guys have any tips for me, leave them in the comments down below. All right, and then the last plant that I put the Osmocote in is my Clarinervium. And I think it's growing a new leaf. Let me see if I can get in there. So I noticed a little growth point right here. I don't know if you guys can see that, but I think the Osmocote is doing well for this plant, and I hope that I get a new leaf. This is the first new leaf that it gave me, and it looks beautiful. But I'm just hoping for another new leaf on this plant. So, all right, so those are the updates on the Osmocote plants. And now I'm going to show you guys a plant that has spider mites, so I need to take care of it. So this is my alocasia, I think it's cucullata, and I did get this plant probably a couple of months ago. And I don't know if you guys can really see or not, but I did notice some spider mite webbing on this one right there. And I mean, the plant isn't looking so great. The leaves are kind of have the yellow. I didn't see any on this leaf, but definitely on this leaf, and it has put out this new leaf for me. So I mean, it is growing, but I definitely need to take care of those spider mites. Okay, you guys, so we are going to go ahead and clean the silver sword plant leaves and also my philodendron fuzzy petiole, because that one seems to attract spider mites as well. So I've really been keeping an eye on that plant and cleaning the plant leaves as often as I can, which is probably like once a week right now. And a company called Urban Gardener reached out to me and asked if I would like to try their products. So they did send me 3 of their 3 plant sprays. So we're going to open it up and see what they're all about. So they come in these really cute little bottles. I really like the packaging. It's pretty. So this one is a super growth elixir. So this one is good for just overall for your plants. It's good for root health, and it's all natural ingredients. It has chitosan, sea kelp, yucca extract, vitamin C, green tea, neem oil, peppermint, just really organic ingredients. So we will spray this on a few of the plants, and we'll probably spray this on the plant that I repot, and we'll give it a good couple sprays in the soil and see how that goes. So it says that you gently mist this on the leaves. You can also spray it in the soil, and they do advise that you use it 2 to 3 times a week. So we'll give that one a try today. They also have the Say No to Bugs, and this one we're going to try on my alocasia to see if it can get rid of the spider mites. Usually I use the Captain Jack's Dead Bug Brew, but today we're going to try this on the plant leaves. This one does have natural oils as well: lemongrass, clove, cedar, neem, black pepper, geranium, thyme, and rosemary. And this one just says to spray whenever you notice a infestation. So we're going to use that one on the alocasia today. And then the last one is the leaf radiance. So this one is good to keep your plant leaves clean. Normally I just use water and a microfiber cloth. I was using a leaf cleaner for my plants, but it just smelled really bad, and I didn't like using it because it would make my whole room smell, and I just didn't like it. So we are going to try this one out and see the smell on this one and if I can tolerate it. It does have neem oil in it, and I think that's what was making me not like the other one. But it also has Castile soap, yucca, peppermint, bamboo extract, aloe, jojoba, and coconut MCT. So we will give this one a try. And I'm going to use this first because we're going to clean my silver sword and then also the fuzzy petiole philodendron. So let's see how this works. I'm just going to use a microfiber cloth to clean those off. Okay, you guys, so we are going to clean the silver sword. This says just to shake well. I do have a microfiber cloth. Okay, so we are going to clean the silver sword leaves. This is the leaf radiance. It does say to shake well, And the problem that I was having with the other leaf cleaner that I had, it stunk really bad. I don't know if it was the neem oil in it or what it was, but it would stink up the whole plant room, and then I could smell it throughout my house, and I just didn't like it. So we're going to see how this smells and see if I can tolerate it. But it does say that it won't clog leaf pores, and it doesn't harm bees or butterflies, which I hope I never have bees in here. But let's shake this up. So I'm just going to spray it on some of these leaves and give them a good wipe down. So I really love this plant, and when I saw it at Desert Horizons Nursery and it was like 16 bucks, I had to grab it because I was looking for it for so long, and it was so expensive that I was not going to pay for it. But when I saw it for 16, I think it was like $16.99, I knew I had to have it. So it's doing good. It's doing really good so far. This is the newest leaf here that it has put out for me. It's not as big as this leaf here, but I'm happy with this leaf, and it's putting out a new leaf as well, so I'm hoping that leaf is a little bit bigger. I don't know what else to do for the plant. It does get a lot of bright light, and it also, I did fertilize with the Osmocote. It does have a support, like a moss pole that it is attached to, so I'm not sure why the leaves, that leaf is so small. But if you guys have any tips on it, please leave it in the comments. But I think I'm doing everything right. A little care tip for this plant that I have learned over my time having it. You have to be careful with the watering. It does like to dry out. So I did notice that, I guess I was watering it too much, and the plants were getting, the leaves were getting edema, and then it was getting ugly yellowing on the leaves, so I had to cut them off. Good thing it was the lower leaves, but I learned very quick not to overwater this plant. So instead of, you know, you might, if you're watering your plant every, you know, week or whatever, you might just want to hold off a little bit and see if it responds well to that. Also, this plant does like the bright light, so I do have it really close to the south facing window. Actually, it's facing the sun in that area, and it really likes that. And then if you have something that it can climb up, moss pole, stake, whatever, it will also appreciate that. So that's what I've learned with growing this plant, and so far so good. I'm really happy that I found this plant for so cheap, and I don't know, I just love it. So far I don't really smell anything with this. I don't even smell neem oil in it, so I guess that's a good thing, because I think the neem oil is what was what I didn't like with the other product. Yeah, I don't smell anything, so that's good. That is definitely a plus. But I will keep you guys updated. I think my big thing is just the smell. I think other than that, unless it harms the leaves, unless I notice something going on with the leaves, I think that I'll just continue to use it. Also, I really like the mist. It's a really fine mist. So I think once this is gone, I might use this with some alcohol and water to spray on mealybugs, because I really like that mist that comes out of there. So so I'm just going to finish up cleaning the leaves here, and So I always clean fronts, backs, and then also the petioles just to keep the pests away. So I'm going to finish wiping down the leaves, and then I will grab the philodendron fuzzy petiole and we will clean those leaves as well, because that is the one that I found the spider mites and the thrips. So I do try to keep those leaves very clean. Okay, so I'm all done cleaning these leaves. I think the plant is looking great. And the leaves look very clean. And they don't look waxy, but they do look clean and beautiful. So that is my nice clean silver sword. So let me put this plant back and then I will grab the fuzzy petiole. Okay, so here is the fuzzy petiole. This plant, I do keep the leaves pretty clean because I did find spider mites on this leaf. I noticed that it had some white in the little creases here. So I took a closer look and I noticed spider mites. So now I keep a really close eye on this plant. And I haven't seen any spider mites or thrips on this plant since I've been keeping the leaves clean. So we're also going to clean these leaves with the Urban Gardener Leaf Radiance. So I did show you guys this plant on my last video. I believe it was my top 5 house plants of July. If you guys missed that video, I will link it above. But this plant has been doing very well for me. It is currently putting out a new leaf. So I'm excited about that. And then it does have a smaller one down here. And I did have some comments on that video asking for any care tips on this plant. And I would say keep it in a bright area. This one doesn't like to dry out as much, but I do water it probably every week. And I'm going to repot it and put some Osmocote in this one. Also, once this leaf, you know, unfurls and hardens off. But so far it's doing good. It does have, like I said, this plant did have the thrips. And I didn't see thrips on any of my other plants, but I did see them on this one. And as you can see here on this leaf, that is the thrip damage. But I'm glad I caught it in time because I'm so glad that the thrips did not spread to the rest of the plants, because that would have been devastating. So, like I said, I keep the leaves on this plant so clean, and I look at it every single day, probably a couple of times a day, just to make sure that there are no spider mites. And I've also I have a mister, and like just with water in it, and I do mist my leaves just because I can pick up spider mites that way. If I see droplets of water on the webbing, you know, it's hard to see the webbing sometimes. So if I mist my plants with the water, I do see droplets of that water on the webbing, and then I know that there are spider mites on the plant. So that's another way that I keep track of all these plants, and if they have spider mites, it's a quicker way as well. And because I just spray that, and if I see anything, then I, you know, will inspect the plant. But so far so good on this spray, you guys. I don't really smell anything, which is a plus. I'm going to continue to use it, and I'll let you guys know if I like it or not. They did give a discount code. I will leave it here on the screen if you guys are interested in trying it out. If you are sensitive to smell, especially the neem oil smell, I would recommend this product. And also they did let me know that for anybody local in Arizona, they do sell this at the plant stand of Arizona. So if you're there, you might want to check it out and pick it up there. But yeah, I mean, so far I'd recommend the spray. I'll keep you guys updated on, you know, if it hurts my plant leaves at all. But I think it's pretty gentle and organic, so I think it will do just fine. But I think this, I'm going to peel off some of this caterpillar brown dead stuff here. Okay, so I think the plant looks really good. And I'm really happy that there is no scent to the product. So I will continue to use it, and like I said, I'll let you guys know how it goes. But those leaves are looking very healthy and clean. So I'm going to go ahead and put this plant back. I'm going to grab the alocasia, and then we will clean the leaves with the Say No to Bugs spray from Urban Gardener. And hopefully we'll keep the spider mites away from that plant. But we'll see how it goes. So let me go ahead and put the fuzzy petiole back, and then I'll grab the alocasia. Okay, so I got the alocasia, and I'm checking. This one definitely has, this leaf definitely has spider mites. I do see a few here as well. I don't know if you guys can see. I don't know if you guys can see the webbing or not, but we are going to clean these leaves. All right, so this is the Say No to Bugs, and I like the packaging on this one as well. It has orange, and then like a burnt orange color, and then the leaves on it. And this one also says shake well before use. And I'm just going to spray it on. I'm just going to use the microfiber cloth that I cleaned the leaves with, and then I will wash this one after I clean these the spider mites off this plant. All right, so let's spray. Let me see. It says to. Okay, so it says to spray the plant and the surrounding areas. So I'm going to spray the plant with the Say No to Bugs. I'm going to wipe the leaves, and then I will do a quick little mist over the leaves again, and then leave it because it does say to spray it and leave it. But I will keep an eye on it. It does sit a little bit further away from all my other plants, which is a good thing. It's always sat in that spot. So I'm just going to leave it there, but let's spray this. Let's see if this one has a smell to it. So I'm going to start by spraying the backs of these leaves. So this one does have a slight smell, but it's not bad. It smells more like organic, like maybe like pepper, or I don't know. I don't know what the smell is, but it actually smells pretty good. Let me see. Maybe it's the Castile soap. Lemongrass? I don't know, but it smells good. So I have the backs of those sprayed. Now let me do the front and where I see the spider mites, and I'm just going to let it soak here. I'm going to spray the stems. I'm going to spray around it just a little bit around in the soil. Okay, so I'm going to let it sit there for a minute, and then I will wipe the leaves down, and then I'll give it another good mist. Okay, so it's been a few minutes and I'm just going to wipe the leaves down really well. I'm going to kind of rub the undersides, the tops, the petioles. And I have not seen really any damage too much on the leaves. They do look a little like, you know, just not healthy, but they don't look yellow, or they don't, you can't really see the spider mite damage. I don't think the spider mites got to them too much before I caught it, so that is a good thing. So I'm just trying to wipe every little crevice and make sure I get all the spider mites off these leaves. So hopefully this product will keep these spider mites off this plant. I think I will spray the plant again here in a few days, and just to make sure. But since the spider mite infestation wasn't that bad, I think that since I caught it in time, it's going to be okay, and you know, they're not going to come back. Good thing this plant only has 4 leaves, because that didn't take very long, and I think the plant's going to be okay. Okay, so let me give this plant another mist of the Say No to Bugs, and I will put this plant back, and then we will repot the plant that I just bought the beginning of this month, so about three weeks ago or so, and we'll put it on the moss pole, and I'm excited about that. So let me just mist these here real quick. The spider mites are gone. I don't see any webbing, so I think this plant will be okay. I'll keep you guys updated if it gets spider mites again. I will let you guys know, but for right now, hopefully this product will take care of them. So I'm excited. I'm really excited to use these products and continue to use them and let you guys know what I think about them. But let me put this plant back, and I will grab the stuff to repot the last plant here. Okay, so hopefully you guys can see what I'm doing. I do have this moss pole that I made. I do need to, it's really moist, but I do need to get some more moss to put in here, but right now we're just going to start the plant on what I have. So there's that. And the plant that we are going to put on the moss pole is this tetrasperma. So this Rhaphidophora tetrasperma, I did get this plant, I believe it's at Home Depot, and how much was it? It was $12.98, and I just thought it was so cute. And these plants grow really fast, so I'm sure that I'm going to have to extend the moss pole, but I'm excited to do that because right now with the Brantianum that I have on the moss pole, it's probably not going to be anytime soon that I have to extend the pole on that plant. So it'll be exciting to extend this one. So I will definitely do that with you guys, but let's get this one on the moss pole. So I'm just going to unpot it, and this soil is not the best. So it's just a really dense, heavy soil. And has pretty good roots, but I'm going to try to get a lot of the soil off of this plant. And it does have some of that netting on around the root ball, but I don't think it's hurting the plant because it has a lot of roots that have grown out of that netting. It's just like the mesh, so I don't think those are too harmful for the plant, so I'm just gonna leave it alone. But yeah, this soil is very wet, and I haven't watered this plant in probably, I only watered it once since I bought it, and I only watered it a little bit, and it's like soaked. So let's just clean off these leaves. I mean, let's just get as much soil off as we can. And it already has some aerial roots, so I'm excited to put it on this pole. It'll be my first plant that has the aerial roots that will hopefully attach into the moss. I'm excited to start putting more plants on poles, so I will definitely do that with you guys and keep you updated on how the plants are going. But let's get off what we can here without damaging the roots too much. So, okay, I think that's pretty good. It does have a lot of roots here in the back that are all, you know, stuck together, so the roots are very white and healthy looking. So I'm going to put this in a clear pot with the slits on the side, just so I can keep an eye on the roots. And the pot is big enough to hold the plant and the moss pole, so that is a good thing. And of course I'm using a really chunky soil mix that I made. It does have perlite, it has pumice, orchid bark, a little bit of worm castings, but it also has the Fox Farm, the ocean soil. I just love that soil. I've been using it for years, and my plants seem to love it as well. So, okay, so I think that's good. Let me grab the pot. Okay, so this is the pot that we're going to put the plant in, and I am going to put soil in the bottom of here first. Okay, so I have my soil here, and I'm just going to put some soil in here, just because we don't want the moss to go into the soil in the pot. So we're going to fill up as much as we can of soil here. And then we'll put the pole in the pot first, and then we will put the plant. Okay, so that is full of soil. So these are the pots that have the slits all around. I guess an orchid pot, and it does have the bump up in the middle. So I'm going to try to put this in here. Okay, so we have the pole. And then I'm going to take the roots of this plant and put them down in there. And make sure that I have the plant positioned the way that I want, so it's close to the pole. And then I'm going to put some plant Velcro on the plant while we fill up the soil. And then I will put the grafting tape around and then take the plant Velcro off, just because I think that it looks nicer with the grafting tape because you really can't see it. So let me get some of the plant Velcro and put it around the plant so we can fill it up with soil. I like the plant Velcro. I think it works very well, but I just think that it looks better. The plants on the moss pole look better with the grafting tape because you can't see it. It's clear, so you can't see it as well as the plant Velcro. Okay, so we have the plant secured to the pole, and now I'm just going to put soil I'm going to make sure that these bottom leaves are just, I'm just going to clip them off here so we don't bury them in the soil. So there's that one. Okay, so just these ones. So that small leaf, and then this one was damaged anyway, so that is okay. And I think the rest are okay. I think I'm going to clip this leaf off also just because it's yellow and damaged. And it's a bottom leaf as well, so okay. Alright, I think that looks good. So let's fill it up with soil. Can you guys see what I'm doing? I'm just putting soil in the pot here. Since I'm repotting this plant, I think I'm going to go grab my Osmocote and put some in this plant as well. So let me go grab the Osmocote. I'll be right back. Okay, so I got the Osmocote, and I'm just going to put some in here before I top off the soil. And okay, so that was like half a cap full. And I think that'll be good. So let me finish filling up this plant, this pot. Okay, so just a little bit more here on the side. Alright, so I think that looks good. Just tapping it to make sure there's no gaps in the soil, air pockets. Okay, so now I'm going to put the grafting tape on the plant to hold it to the moss pole, and then I'll remove the Velcro, and then we will be done with this plant. I am going to spray the Super Growth Elixir from Urban Gardener on this plant, and then a little bit in the soil, and then it'll be good to go. I will give it a good water once we're done, and I'll keep you guys updated on this plant and the growth of it. But already, as you can see, it's like right at the top of the moss, but I do need to get some more moss, so I'm gonna have to go to Home Depot or Lowe's for that, and maybe I'll just make it into a plant shopping video. and take you guys to Home Depot with me. So if you don't want to miss my Home Depot plant shopping trip, then don't forget to subscribe before you leave. But let me grab my grafting tape real quick so we can finish this plant. Okay, so I got my grafting tape. It is just kind of like saran wrap, and you just wrap it around the plant. It sticks to itself, and it is a good option to Velcro, other than Velcro, I should say. Okay, so let's start here at the top. And I'm going to try to guide the aerial roots into the moss. Let me turn the plant here a little bit. Okay, so let me start here. I'm just going to go around 3 times, and I think that will be good. Okay, so there's that one. And I'm going to remove the plant Velcro just so I can put the grafting tape where the Velcro was. Because I'm going to, there's a aerial root down here, and so I'm trying to guide it into the moss, and then I'll kind of put this with a little bit of force or pressure to guide it into the moss. And also the grafting tape is very gentle on the plants. So I'm really liking it. I'm really liking this grafting tape. So, okay. Let me just take a look and make sure that there's no more spots that I need to tape down. So the plant is kind of, the bottom leaves are kind of turning that way, but it's turning towards the light. So I think I'll put it on the other side of the grow light so it will straighten out. And then I'll put it, maybe I'll find a spot in front of the south facing window so the leaves can start facing all one direction towards the light. But that is what it looks like so far. And I'm excited that I finally got this plant up on the pole. Like I said, I will take you guys with me to Home Depot. We'll do a shopping video so I can find some more moss just to stick down in here, because this plant is a very fast grower, and I'm sure in no time it's going to outgrow this pole, but then we can extend the pole together and we'll figure it out. Now let me spray the Super Growth Elixir on this plant and then just a little bit down in the soil. And then I will water this plant once we are done with the video. And let's spray a little bit down here in the soil. I want to see what it smells like. I don't really smell anything on this one. The only one that really had any kind of a scent, an odor to it, was the bug. Say no to bugs. Oh, this one does have a little scent, but it's not bad. Okay. So now I'm just going to kind of mist the leaves. And okay, so I think it looks beautiful. What do you guys think? Think it looks good? You think it's going to do good on the moss pole? I think it's going to do awesome. So yeah, so this one does have a scent, but it's not neem oil. It doesn't stink. So I think I'll be fine with this one as well. But If you guys are interested in these, like I said, the link will be down in the comments. There is a 10% off coupon code if you guys are interested. So far so good with these. I don't really have any complaints. I do like the mist on them, and the scents of them are not, the smells are not that bad, so that is a good thing. So there is my Rhaphidophora tetrasperma. Looks beautiful. Okay, you guys, so thank you so much for joining me today. If you guys like this random style video, please give this video a thumbs up. If you guys want to see more plant videos from me and keep updated on my plants, don't forget to subscribe before you leave. And I just want to thank Urban Gardener for sending me these products. I'm excited to continue to test them out. But I just want to thank everybody so much for watching, and until next time, guys, bye.